Hello everyone. So we are going to discuss about the not-so-stubby area, which is also known as NSSA. Basically, the not-so-stubby area is a type of OSPF area. It is a type of OSPF area. Well, we already discussed about the stub area as well as backbone area, total stub area. We already have discussed about that. Okay. So it is a new topic for all of you according to our previous one. So it allows you for the injection of internal route while still managing some of the benefit of stub area. What? As we already know that once you will configure the stub area, the external routes, like these routes are external or these routes coming from external, will be totally blocked to come over the stub area. If this is a stub area, so no external route can be passed through it, not even this one, not even this one. So the routers of area 0 as well as area 1 cannot be communicate to external areas. Okay, because these routes will be totally blocked to coming through this side, and these routes will also be totally blocked up to come inside the area 1. But in case of not so stubby area, what we can do, that we can block some external routes to come inside the stub area. But if I just want to allow some specific routes from this side, so these will be allowed to be forwarded on area 0. So these external routes will be forwarded through the area 1, which is a not so stubby area. It will allow you to pass the external routes in form of LSA type 7. So these routes will be converted to LSA type 7 and will be forwarded or passed through this area. But dear, the routes coming from backbone area will be totally blocked. The routes coming from this area 0 backbone area will be totally blocked. The external routes or LSA type 5 or 4 will be totally blocked to come inside the area 1. But still area 0 can able to communicate with external routes. So how could this be possible that these routes 200.0.0.1 will be converted to NSSA? Okay, not so stubby area routes, NSSA type 7 LSAs. Okay, it will be converted to LSA type 7 and will be passed through this area 1. And with the help of that, area 0 can able to communicate to these external routes. Now for the reference, we will do the configuration on GNS3. So here we have a topology on which we are going to do the configuration of not so stubby area. Okay dear. Well, let me tell you that this is area 1 in which 3 routers are there. This is area 0 on which 3 routers are there. These are the external routes connected to the backbone area, and these are the external routes connected to the area 1. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I will also going to capture the packet through this side when we do the configuration of NSSA. Okay. Well, it will be totally verified through the routing table, but still we are going to do that. So dear, let me tell you that I have already configured the OSPF over here. I have done the redistribution and configured the BGP in between these two, and I have configured the BGP already in between these two. So let me show you in the routing table. So let me go to the router number 4 and show you the table. Do show, do show IP routes. So you can see that there is a very big table on which all the external routes are available. So the routes coming from this side, so these external routes are in the table here, and these external routes also in the table. So this is a complete table. But why we need the stub areas, total stub area or NSSA, not so stubby area, to reduce the size of table, to reduce the routes coming from external or inter area routes. So because of that, the table will be reduced, the load will be reduced over the router. Now let's do one thing. Let's start doing the configuration of NSSA. So we can able to see the table that external routes are available. External routes are available over here. Over here also on R2, we can able to see the complete table, right? Do show IP. Sorry, show IP routes. So in routing table of R2, we can see all the external routes are available. So we are verifying the table on R2. On R2 table, we can verify that external routes are available from both the ends. Okay, nothing is blocked now. The network is working properly. Everything is okay now. But what will happen if I will do the configuration of not so stubby area? So we will verify the table also. Okay, so let's go to router number 4, router number 5, and do the configuration of not so stubby area. How we can do that? Router OSPF 1, area 1, NSSA. So this is the configuration of not so stubby area. Okay, so adjacencies will be forced to reset. Then let's go to router number 4. So router OSPF 1, area 1, NSSA. Okay, let's go to router number 1 now and configure the same. So router OSPF 1, area 1, and NSSA. So here we have just done the configuration of not so stubby area. Let me check, is there any packet flow is there or not. So yeah, some packets are going on from here. Lots of packets will be forwarded. Let me go to update message of any of these. This is OSPF packet. So this is LSA type 1 and LSA type 1 is here actually only. Let us go to this one. Here is also LSA type 2. So currently the okay. So here we can see that LSA type 7 is forwarded in between the routers of not so stubby area or area 1. So here we can see that the external routes are converted to LSA type 7. There were 4 external routes and all the 4 are converted to LSA type 7 and all the LSA type 5 are blocked. So here we can see that 30.0.1.0 is advertising router, that is 10.0.2.1. So here it is passing the information through the NSSA or type 7 LSA, right? Now let's go to the topology again and verify the routing tables. Okay, so let's go to R4 now first of all. So previously, this is our previous table on which we can see that all the external routes are available and some external routes were coming from R6. Some external routes were coming from R6. Here we can see these 3 routes was coming from R6, external routes from the backbone area, passing through the backbone area. Okay, and some more external routes were also coming from R3. So these are coming from R3, 200.0.0, that is coming from R3. So there these will be totally vanished from the table because not so stubby area will block all the external routes and will pass the NSSA routes only, the routes that are directly connected to the area 1 or not so stubby area with the help of redistribution. Main point is redistribution. So we have done the redistribution over here, and because of redistribution, NSSA totally not so stubby area will be NSSA routes will be visible here. So all the routes injecting from R5 in area 1 will be converted to NSSA route. Okay, type 7 LSA. Let me show you in the table now. Okay, so do show IP routes. So here you can see that all the external routes are blocked that were coming from this side will be totally blocked by the R1. So here you cannot see any external routes coming from this side. But the routes coming from redistribution will be visible over here. The routes coming from redistribution will be totally visible here, and these are passed through the routing table. These are passed through the routers in the form of N2 O N2 or not so a stubby area route. So these are NSSA routes. The main point is that please do remember the redistribution, the routes coming after redistribution of area 1 are automatically converted to the type 7 LSA after configuration of NSSA. Now let's verify the table. Is R2 is still getting the routes from this side or not? Yes, R2 is getting the routes from this side because these routes these were coming from the area 1 in form of NSSA will be again converted to external routes again when it will be reached to area 0. So let me show you in the table. So these routes 30.0.1.0 are in form of N2 O N2 LSA type 7 or not so stubby area routes. But if I will go to router number 2 and put the same command show IP route, so table is same again. There is no change in table. External routes are still visible in the same way as it was previously. Because of what? No external, all the external routes coming through R1 converted to NSSA, and when it will be reached to area 0 it will be automatically converted to the LSA type 5. So there is a conversion in between these. So when external routes will be injected through R5 it will be converted to NSSA. Then when it will be again forwarded to the area 0 it will be converted to LSA type 5 or external routes. So this is how the totally not sorry this is how the not so stubby area works. But what about the totally not so stubby area? But there is one more important point there, dear. You have to remember that all the external routes coming through the backbone area will be blocked by R1, and it will not be converted to the default route. No conversion to the default route. By default it is not going to convert the external routes into default route. In case of NSSA, no routes will be converted to default routes. Please note down this point, that is important, that no routes will be converted to default route. This will not happen in not so stubby area. But in case of totally stubby area, totally not so stubby area, let's discuss about the totally not so stubby area. Totally not so stubby area. What is the meaning of this totally not so stubby area, dear? Here we have blocked the external routes coming through the backbone area. It will be blocked by R2, not passing the information. But what about these routes? These are known as the inter-area route. When one area forward the routes to other area, they are known as the inter-area route or LSA type 3. So what will happen over here? LSA type 3 is still passing through the ABR. So if you want to block the LSA type 3 but you still want to forward the external routes to this side, so what you have to do, you have to do the configuration of totally not-so-stubby area, and these three routes will be converted to the default route 0.0.0/0 in case of totally not so stubby area. So all the inter area route OIA will be converted to the default route O star IA automatically after doing the configuration of totally not so stubby area. So this configuration of totally not so stubby area will be only done on ABR. ABR will be configured with the totally NSSA or no summary, and other will be configured by NSSA only. Okay. So in case of totally not so stubby area, you have to do the configuration on ABR only. Other will be configured by the NSSA because this is the router which is passing the summary or inter area routes to the area 1. Now let's go to the routers, and before going to move further, I will show you the table of R4. So in R4 you can able to see the inter area routes. The routes coming from the neighbor area are available over here. There is no default route in the table here. Now when I will do the configuration of not-so-stubby area over R1, the routes will be automatically converted to the default route. So router OSPF 1 area 1 NSSA and no summary. That's it. So by the help of this command, all the inter-area routes will be blocked over R3. So these routes will be blocked by R1. So R1 is going to block all these and convert them to default route 0.0.0.0/0. So let me show you in the table. So let's go to router number 4 and check the table to show IP route. So table is now shorten. So it is automatically going to shorten the table. So O star IA means all the inter-area routes converted to the default route. So it is only allowed to pass the information of default route, not the specific routes will be allowed. Like there are 3 routes over here. So all the 3 routes will be blocked and converted to the default route. Okay. So this is how we do the configuration of not so stub area, uh, and totally NSSA. So if you have any confusion, you can ask me in the comments. Have a nice day.